So first I wanted to start with who I am. My name is Gerard Tucker, and I am a parent of two wonderful daughters that attend Clay Elementary School. My oldest has been attending for the last 4 years. She's now in second grade, and my youngest will be starting TK in the fall. We love the school, we love the teachers, we love our administrators. Our experience there has been excellent the entire time that we've been there. But the reason why we're here today is because we are not okay with the name Henry Clay. Henry Clay enslaved 122 men, women, and children over his entire lifetime. And the school was dedicated in 1957, the same year that Robert E. Lee was honored with a school in the same district. When the school was opened, the district allowed none other than the United Daughters of the Confederacy to dedicate the school. For decades, students in this district have been forced to walk into buildings and wear shirts emblazoned with the names of men that would have seen them as less than human, and that needs to stop now. So what we're doing and what we expect is we're calling on the district, we're calling on you to end this shameful practice. We are also calling on the district to pick a restorative name. Having a school or institution named after you is one of the highest honors that can be bestowed upon someone. So to change the school from Robert E. Lee to the generic Pacific View, okay, all right. To change Junipero Serra to the equally generic Canyon Hills. Says that if we cannot honor oppressors, if we cannot uphold white supremacy, then we will not honor anyone. We are calling on you to do better moving forward. Also want to talk about how long it has taken for us to even get here to this point. We've been working on this for 6 months. We put in hundreds of hours of volunteer work. We've had 2 local news stories put on ABC and CBS. We've gathered over 1,000 signatures from parents, teachers, neighbors, and community members. We have campaigned at the Rolando Street Fair. We have gone door to door handing out flyers and putting out door hangers. We've hosted 2 town halls, both attended by our school's principal, the second attended by our area superintendent, our communications director, Maureen McGee, and the new head of the naming committee, Gary Patel. We've gathered support from our local Rolando Community Council, and we also have a letter of support from our City Council President, Sean Elo Rivera. So now, we hand it over to you. We have presented you with our proposal, and we look forward to your quick reply. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Sabrina Young. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Clay Elementary and vice president of the Rolando Community Council. We are here, like Gerard said, because we love our community, we love our school, we don't love the legacy of Henry Clay. We brought our initiative this far with no roadmap. To be honest, with very little support from the district. The question we want to put to the board today is who will see this through? It is our hope that there is a board member here today that is brave enough to commit to working toward the renaming of Henry Clay with a name that doesn't just replace or neutralize, but with a name that restores and transforms. Who will it be? Will it be you? I hope it's you. Maybe it will even be all of you.
Thank you. Brian?
Hi, my name is Brian Jenkins, and I'm a father to 2 students at Henry Clay right now. So I want to start off, this effort began 6 months ago with the belief that we could transform our community through the reclamation and restoration of our neighborhood school's name. Our community believes that no child should enter a building named after a man who saw them or their classmates as less than human. While I'm excited to celebrate our achievements in the new community that we have built, I also want to recognize the tremendous amount of social and economic capital that it took to get to this point. Our group has spent hundreds of dollars on t-shirts and posters. We've spent countless hours canvassing the neighborhood, meeting with policymakers, and just going door to door to try building support for this. We've milked every bit of social capital each of us has to get to this point. And this cannot be the process going forward for other communities to do the similar work. We believe that we must work together to reimagine this system so that it's accessible and equitable for all communities in our city. So today I ask the school board to permanently convene the names committee and proactively do this work. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Dr. Denisha Jenkins. I'm a registered nurse with 2 children at Clay. We come here as a moment of celebration for the vision of the future of our community. In a neighborhood plagued by racist covenants and redlining since the early 1950s, we are here to celebrate the stir that has culminated a new heartbeat in our neighborhood. In a dark time in our world, our community is cultivating a hopeful vision of the future. Simultaneously, we have been enlightened to the tremendous gap in competency in many of our teachers and school leaders have related to anti-racism. Dr. Jackson, this moment must emphasize to you and the board that too many people in this district do not appreciate the grave responsibility they have to end the harm that has been perpetuated by this school system since the naming of Henry Clay, the naming of Robert E. Lee Elementary, since Carlin versus SDUSD, and the multiple failures thereafter. We need this board to ignite the fire in the bellies of our educators to restore the humanities in our children and in themselves for our future. We need a standard for anti-racism in SDUSD. Dr. Jackson, we must raise the bar. These are your teachers and your leaders.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Chechel. I'm an advanced practice nurse, and my daughter will be starting TK in the fall at Clay. I am honored to be reading the statement from Council President Sean Elo Rivera. Dear San Diego Unified's board members, I am writing in support of the Not Okay with Clay Community Group's efforts to rename Henry Clay Elementary School, located in Rolando community of San Diego. This parent and teacher organized coalition has amassed over 1,000 signatures of support through a grassroots effort that includes outreach and education at local events, hosting public town halls, and meeting with key decision makers in the community. Henry Clay's name has stood on this building for nearly 70 years, and today I request action to remove this shameful and racist image from our school. Clay's legacy as an enslaver until his death and his compromise to keep slavery in as many territories as possible should disqualify him from being honored on any building in our city. Additionally, we must acknowledge that Henry Clay Elementary's dedication in 1957 occurred during a time where many of the school's neighborhoods enforced a whites-only covenant on home ownership, effectively barring anyone who was not white from purchasing a home in the community. The name effectively signals the same violently racist message today as it did in 1957. Names matter. Who we honor matters. As we move into a new era and work towards a more equitable vision for our community, it is imperative that we right the wrongs of our past. This is why I fully endorse this community's efforts to remove the name of Henry Clay from this building and replace it with a name that is restorative and reflective of the love, kindness, and compassion that occurs every single day behind the walls of this school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm here tonight as a Rolando homeowner and a member of the Clay school family to speak in support of changing the name of Henry Clay Elementary School. We live in a time of great change where we're reckoning with our painful history of racism and oppression. And as a community, we have a responsibility to teach our history, both the good and the bad. It's an important step in creating a more just and inclusive school environment. It's a way of acknowledging our history and acknowledging how the legacy of slavery continues to impact our society today. Changing the name of Henry Clay Elementary School would be sending a clear message that we do not condone slavery or the racism that that name represents. We do not believe in honoring those who profited from slavery. Changing the name of the school would be a positive and healing step for our community. It would send a message that we are committed to creating a more inclusive and welcoming environment. This is a small but important step we must take towards creating a more just and equitable future for all. And I just wanted to say that the reason that I wanted to get involved with this personally is that I used to believe that this was something that was like an issue from like 100 or 200 years ago, and that the effects of slavery and racism were not alive and well in our community. And I looked at the grant deed for the property that I own in this neighborhood where this school is that I love, and the community that I love, and the neighbors that I love. And it said that only white people were allowed there, and that is so heartbreaking to me. And I don't want to have any name that is associated with that in any way attached to the community that I love. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, my name is Eric Anderson. I have no children. I am a neighbor. I live around the corner from the school, and I prepared this. I studied abroad in Ghana, West Africa, when I was in college. In 1995, I spent 3 whole days touring slave castles and burial grounds in Elmina Village, Elmina, Mensa, and Cape Coast. We saw dungeons and loading docks and were voluntarily locked in a room that had a skull and crossbones on it. When I moved to Rolando 20 years later, in 2015, I was taken aback that my post office across the street from Clay Elementary was named after Andrew Jackson, who enslaved 161 souls descended from people who passed through those castles. In June 2020, while monuments around the world were being torn down after George Floyd was murdered, I started a Change.org petition and was quickly invited to be on NBC, CBS, KUSI, and the Union Tribune to speak about renaming the post office. Sarah Jacobs submitted Bill H.R. 9308 in November of last year. It was quickly passed by the House and the Senate and signed by POTUS on December 22nd, and has been renamed. Henry Clay similarly enslaved 122 souls, and I'm happy to join this group of parents and teachers and community members, and hopefully you all, to rename Clay Elementary and Clay Park as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then we have one virtual speaker on this same topic. Is Sherry Flowers available? She is.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, hi Sherry, you have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Cherie, and I'm the mom of a Black and mixed race student. My daughter started in TK at Rowan Elementary, and now she's finishing up her first year of kindergarten at our home school, Henry Clay Elementary. And myself, along with many of the parents speaking on behalf of Clay students today, we actively chose to stay at our home school and hopefully contribute to making it better rather than to choice out to other nearby schools such as Language Academy and Hearst, which is very common in our neighborhood. I'm also lucky enough to be a substitute teacher with a school district here and in my daughter's classroom. I sub at other schools, mid-city schools such as Valencia Park, Choice View, Hardy, and Gage. And I've been able to observe how our schools operate from the inside. There are a lot of great things happening, but of course, room for improvement, especially for underserved populations such as low-income minorities and those with special needs. But Clay specifically is designated a no place for hate campus as well as Title I. And so we need to live up to the designation with actual actions. I support the Henry Clay name change and also the name change of the adjoining park, Clay Park. And also just to put a focus on the language and linguistics we use in the classroom settings in general, and addressing them and talking to students about and teachers about what language we use in the classroom that reinforces sometimes those negative narratives. So thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.